All right, y'all. We are back with another episode of the SoapBox Social. My bad. I'm here with Quan and of course Keisha Day. It's your boy Chef Boy Basquiat, and today we'll be basically just going over just the journey of life, uh, and just really just talking about the ins and outs of transitioning from or to Christ and the journey through that. Anybody want to kick it off, Mama?
You said we're talking about the transitions of what and who to how.
I
Sorry,
said
it was a
really just
loud.
the really
It was a
really
loud
just
car
the
driving by.
just the journeys through and in Christ.
Oh, you want me to kick it off?
Hmm.
Oh, well,
I
that
mean, you,
sounds
you are
good.
you are the senior person here. Yeah.
Oh, well, but yeah, well, just kicking off in basically, I'm gonna switch the thing. So I'm gonna take it off of me. I want to ask both of y'all. I don't care who go first, but what made you step into the journey of just wanting to go, take a walk with Christ and make your own decision with things, or were you helped with making the decision, or you made the decision on your own? I'll leave it like that, and anybody can start if you understood my question.
I guess I'll start. Um, so with mine, I guess you can say you helped with it, if that's how you want to put it, because you invited me back to church when I was real stubborn on not wanting to go to church.
Okay.
Um, but I'll say you because you initiated me getting to the place, and then it was just the word at the time and the words leading up to me making the decision to fully devote in time that led to me getting back into Christ. So that's really what started that step. And also, I would probably just say just where I was also at the time that I made the decision in life.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I
Okay.
wouldn't say coming out of where I was at, but slowly waking up out of the mindset that I was in.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, for me, it was I would say it was my ex-wife that
Okay.
helped me because her parents are pastors. So when I met her, I was living a wild life in the streets and gangs and stuff. So when I met her, and she ended up getting pregnant with my first son. And when my first son came, you know that was also a thing that like drew me closer to like wanting to get my life. I didn't necessarily At first I didn't necessarily want to get it right with Christ, but I did
Hmm.
want to live different from what I was doing with my because of my son.
Hmm.
But then I started going to my ex-wife's parents' church, and then that's just like getting into the word for myself, and understanding Christ's love for me. That's what drew me to wanting to get my life right with Christ.
That's awesome, guys. I love
That's
that.
awesome. Listen to her
I
sound like
love
a curator.
I love to hear it, because everybody has their different reasons behind things,
Yeah.
and like Kwani was saying, he just wanted to do something different in his life, and then that's also another reason why people want to take that journey, because you get tired of doing the same things and it's not getting you nowhere, basically. But
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that, young men. Y'all go ahead and just shoot it, and
Now, so I remember from the brief conversation me and Quan had, we communicated on basically becoming lost or being lost or getting blindsided on our journey through Christ when we started and through starting. I don't care who starts off, but do y'all have any identifiable moments of when or what or how those moments take place and when they take place?
As far you said, like
Just become,
blindsided moments.
yeah, becoming sidetracked and blinded in your journey.
Um, one of my, one of my like bigger moments, pivotal moments was when, you know, when me and my wife split up. And it was a blindsided moment, and it got me off track because when you living for Christ, you think that like how people making presumptions like, oh, when you come to Christ, everything will be all good. Like, and in a sense, it's true, but they don't
Mhm.
talk about the warfare that you go through when you come to Christ. So when I came to Christ, and and I'm going hard for Christ, and I'm in my word, I'm reading, I'm worshiping. When me and my wife started going through problems, nobody, for one, I didn't have no example of what a marriage looked like at all growing up. And then when I got into one, I didn't know what to do. But I was thinking, hey, as long as I got Christ, I'm good. But it's still everyday things that you have to do in order to put effort into making things work for yourself too. Um, so I would say that was one of my bigger moments. And when I was kind of mad at God when we split up, and it was like, dang, God, if you love me like you say you do, why am I going through what I'm going through right now? And I started to get back in the street life, and it didn't work out. Like God was like He kept sending me signs of like, this ain't the life that I want for you. Like,
Mhm.
although bad things happen to you,
Yeah,
that does not mean that I don't love you.
that's right.
So that was one of my bigger moments.
Well, I guess I'll go next. Well, I mean, me being where I'm at, age really don't play a factor in most things. It's just about life in general. But I'm gonna just say I got I've been in church, grew up in church, went to different several churches. But what really kicked my journey off with just spiritual guidance is when Dedrick's father passed away,
Mm.
and me not knowing
Time out, time out.
how.
Why'd you have to go to my government name?
Well, Chef Boy Basquiat, big boy, big Chef Boy Basquiat. No, just kidding. But yeah, but what made me really just really get into it and just know that you know God is really for us, meaning when he passed away, it just made me take a look back at myself, what I was surrounded by, what my family meant to me, what they didn't mean good for me, XYZ and vice versa on both ends, friends, family, just anything like that. So it just made me get closer to God, knowing that he's been there before the tragedies and he's there always after the tragedies. And it's just like when ain't nobody else around, I just know he's there because of different many blessings, and then not so much looking at all the blessings, but I'm still here. So I gotta be thankful for that first and foremost. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that's what made me really just jump in and know who's my friend, my and everything, my everything.
And then, but the question that I asked, which was, what sidetracks you or has sidetracked you along your journey?
What sidetracked me? Well, previously what sidetracked me, like I said again, I was bringing up how I had to sit back and look at certain things that I was surrounded with, meaning my family, my friends,
Yeah.
just anything that I was in at that moment. Like, what is it serving me? Like, but it just wasn't doing nothing but keeping me blind. That can be meaning when I was smoking weed, when I was just drinking and thinking that was just the life to live because of the people I hung around. And that really wasn't it. And when I start clearing my mind and clearing my body of these negative things, it made me just look at life a whole lot different. Like it's more to it than that. Like we were celebrating nothing but really death to me because we
Yeah.
slowly killing ourselves with these things. You know what I'm saying? But everybody don't see things your way or the way you see things. So you just got to do what's best for you in the spiritual walk. I'll say it like that.
Do
That's
you
what
feel like
blindsided me.
do you feel like me just asking a question that I relate to, and I feel about myself? Do you feel like sometimes you let the relationships that you hold closer to yourself blind you from your journey and get in the way of your connection with Christ?
I'll let Kwani go with that. I don't want to keep talking.
You say that one more time, bro.
I said, do you feel like the relationships that you hold like as an importance within like your social life or just just life in general, do you feel like you let that get in the way of you connecting or with you connecting with Christ?
I would say I did at first, like in the beginning of my walk with Christ, I did, but not so much now because like during those times, like in the beginning and kind of a little bit after that, I started going through those hard moments, and I was literally like by myself, like physically, and I just started to realize, man, that like everybody in the world is gonna leave me at some point, and I start to realize like God is gonna always be there, so it don't affect my relationships now. Like people, I say it start to take a turn because it stopped becoming you starting to get people out of your life, and it starts to become God start getting people out of your life, and people like they come around you and they like feel a certain energy, like they feel you filled with light, and they be like, oh, nah, that's a weird vibe. So they start to remove themselves. It comes to that point where you ain't even gotta, try to remove people from you. People will just leave.
Preaching. He preaching right there. Hold on, y'all. He preaching though. I don't know if y'all heard that. I don't know if y'all caught that, but he's saying something, y'all. He preaching. Okay, okay. Sometimes we ain't gotta do it. Gotta do it for us. Okay, I'm done. You want to answer your own question, son?
Well, for me, I feel like I don't notice it just because I like the question. Obviously, I said I identify with it. I feel like I don't notice it until it's like I'm hanging out with a person or communicating with a person, and like mentally, I'm like, yo, there's a void, and I'm feeling alone while entertaining a person,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, yeah, I just shouldn't be here. That's when
Yeah.
I start to understand like what my relationships look like and what they are, and that how I identify them as distractions or not.
I
Does that
have a
make sense?
question. Yeah, it makes sense. What I'm saying is, how, say for instance, you just said you be around just to entertain or whatever. What if it's not really you just being around a person entertain? Maybe God placed you there for a reason, that reason season and all that lesson blessing type deal. And it's up to that person who's ever in your presence or in your light or in your good spirits to catch why you're there. You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa. It can be vice versa, however you want to look at it. But have you ever just stopped and thought like, okay, well, maybe I helped this person out today, or maybe this person helped me out in a way today. And it could just be from conversations or being in the presence of just feeling things. But do you think you was just placed there, or you just set yourself there because you're just like, oh, okay, well, let me go over here and entertain this person just cause?
Nah. So when I was like a lot younger, I would think that way, but now, I mean, of course, I understand like you cross paths with people in life for a reason and through moments, right? But I don't believe that every moment of encounters that I have in my life, are for that purpose. Like I believe a lot of the times that most of the things that I experience and go through are just repetitive tests or new tests until I get through it. Like you know what I mean? Like a different trial. So I don't look at it as just like a person coming in for for them to show me it. It's just for me to identify it and stay true to what I know what I'm called to do and how I'm called to act accordingly to it. You know what I mean?
That's good. I'm glad you cleared that up. I like that answer too. What about you, Quan?
Can you repeat the question?
I basically said, like, say for instance, you be around, it can be coworkers, it can be
Hmm.
just a friend that you just be like, okay, I can call and just shoot the shots with this person or go chill with this person, it'll be cool. But do you think that that person, or like, Basquiat was saying, either that person was there to teach either you a lesson or you there to teach that person a lesson, meaning if it's words exchange or just being in the presence of the time or whatever is going on, or do you just feel like, oh, okay, well, this was just pointless, or was it useful? I'm gonna say it like that.
I think that's where like discernment come in.
Hmm.
You have to. I mean, because every person, I believe that every person that comes in your life is, you know, it's either from the enemy or it's from God.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I mean, I've been in situations like that. I've been in situations where sometimes I have felt like the situations was like that I'm dealing with a person
Hmm.
is pointless, but I wouldn't. I started to look at it differently. Like it's. I wouldn't say pointless. I would say a distraction.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and that's why I say a person either comes from God or they come from the enemy as a distraction. So
Hmm.
I think every person that we encounter is for a reason. I think it's up to us to, go to God in prayer, have discernment and good judgment to know which one is
You're
from.
absolutely right. Absolutely right. Absolutely.
And you, Miss Ma'am?
Oh. Well, I can piggyback off of both what y'all said put together. I do agree. And just as far as with me, being in a different time in my life, it's just like, oh, okay, well, I'm learning my lessons at the same time. But when is it that you're gonna already like? When are you gonna ace all these lessons and just move with life, knowing, like you said, discernment, knowing that, you know what I'm saying? You're in the right place. You're in the right space. You're in the, okay, I guess
I
that's
don't know
just
what
talking
I
about the
don't know
old
what you're saying.
age.
I don't know what you're saying.
You
You
don't know what
said, you
I'm
know what I'm
saying?
saying? I said,
Oh, okay. Well, just saying, I choose, not so much I choose, but you are able to choose. But I just choose who I would, rather be around or be what to be a part of. I mean, you'll know. I mean, the more you grow, the
Yeah,
more you'll know. You'll
yeah.
know basically.
I
I don't know.
no, not to interrupt you, but
You're fine.
I think most of the times it's like we know what type of person we gonna get from what type of environment we place
Mhm.
ourselves in. If I go to the
Mhm.
club, I
Mhm.
know what type of
Mhm.
environment I'm placing myself in, and I know what type of people are in the club. I know what type of
Right.
people are in. Like if I go to the liquor store, I know what type of people are in the liquor store. The people looking to drink
Right.
alcohol. Like
Right.
so, I think it's the environment that you put yourself in.
Mhm. That is absolutely true too. You're on the right way. Look at you over there. Mhm.
I'm over here messing with you. I'm being trying to. Now, so I know for me, there's moments where I feel like, all right, I've either got distracted for too long or I've disconnected for some period of time and not connected with God. And when I notice those things and I try to get back on the path of reconnection, am I the only one that like feels like, not that it's hard, but you just feel the 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 correction process is a lot more tedious to get back into the rhythm, into the flow of doing your steady walk after you get disconnected from the source. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Because you're staring at
yeah,
me like,
How do you get disconnected? That's one thing I want to
so
ask
you
before I
so
answer.
so so you know how a lot of people and pastors say don't treat it like a. Of course, you can schedule in the times when you're gonna read or whatever. Not that's cool, but like as far as being disconnected, basically straying too far off course, and I wouldn't even say worldly things because I don't really, I mean, I don't follow the norms. It's just that, well, I critique myself a lot. A lot of the times I've either a look at things and be like, dang, am I being too lustful in this instance, which is a thing that I struggle with, or um, not thinking about how I'm living my day to day life and what that looks like in my reflection of Christ. Yeah, I mean, so like getting off course based off of things like that.
And you were asking, how do you
How
feel if you,
just how do you feel through your process, wherever you straying off your course looks like,
it's
and how
all with
and
the
how does the
it's
correct
all with the
how does the
it's
correction feel and go for you?
well, let me just think real quick. Well, basically, just to sum it up in one nutshell, sum it up. Uh, I mean, I fell out course, and when you fall out course or go backwards, I'll say like that. You go backwards, sometimes you can go backwards and be like, nah, I think I can manage this, or I think I can handle this. And then when that happens and you feel in a certain way, like, why did I do that? Or why did I? go back there? Or why did I say this? Or why did I open this pen back up from where I closed it? Whatever you want to say. Getting off course is just getting off course, if that's what you're saying. But he always, once you connected, he's always gonna let you go ahead and get your feet wet if that's what you want to do. If that's what you want to do, he's gonna let you do that. But it's up to you to make see if that feeling makes you really feel like, was that really what you desired? Like, not so much even desire, but anyway, he'll bring you back on the path.
You wanted to use the
because we are not perfect.
metaphor.
We are not perfect. I'm gonna just skip it up. We are not perfect at the end of the day. Me, you, he, she, he. We are not perfect. So we are bound to stumble on the path. We are bound to fall off the path if that's what you're saying. But it's reasons why we do that. It's decisions that we make. We don't do this just because we just walking and then be like, oh, I didn't mean to go that way. It's decisions that we make. Mm-hmm. So we ain't gonna never fall out track. I mean, he's not gonna just let us go that easy like that. It's just we still gotta be smart and
Yeah.
What you think?
I think that I think it's best when you don't look at it in a way of being separated from him. Because the Bible says that like nothing can separate us from his love. And I think as long as we look at his love and not, the works that we doing, it's like, oh, I'm getting up, I'm reading my Bible, I'm praying, because like when you love somebody, those things, the things that you do for them come natural. So I think that, and we fail at that too. Like even when we love in natural, like human beings, we fail at that. Like if I could truly love somebody and still fail at, a certain aspect of loving them.
Yep.
So I think that when we just move in God's love and not look at it as like, oh, dang, I was doing all this stuff for him and now I'm not. And that's what makes you feel the disconnect. But like I said, the enemy just tries to pervert everything. So although like God know we gonna fall, that's why he tells us like a righteous man falls 7 times, he gets back up. But it's a difference. See, the thing is, you ain't disconnected. I don't feel like you're disconnected because it's a difference between living a lifestyle and falling away. And if you live in a lifestyle, you living for the world now. But if you like, we got natural temptations inside of us. And if I lived away I'm 25 years old. If I live my whole life, if I live 20 years of just destruction, it's not gonna take me a year or two to stay steady on the path. I think that, but I think that like my main thought of it is when you move in love, you don't have to worry about trying to do all the things like reading and praying, like, because those things will come natural to you.
Come natural. That's it.
I'm over here talking about and I'm muted. But now, so within hearing y'all talking all of that, I was gonna highlight and also ask, because I know me just by nature and by who I am, like personality wise, I condemn myself a lot. I like to but I just naturally self-correct myself partially. So that's why I said, that's why that question was that question, because that's how I see it in that moment. Because it's like, all right, I'm doing wrong, and you know what I mean, and you understand that you're feeling wrong.
Yeah, I mean, but
so
I think it's you want that though. Like you don't want to condemn yourself, but you do want to be corrected all the time. Like you want to live humbly enough to be like, okay, I just responded the wrong way. Because if you don't, then that's how you start to live the lifestyle instead of falling.
Yeah.
So I don't think that you should lose that thought of, because all it is the Holy Spirit convicting you, and all that is correction. So if you going down it, like, and that's love within itself too, like to be like, okay, you moving the wrong way, let me straighten your path, or let me straighten you to the right path. And so I don't think you want to lose that.
She wanted to say that's good. That's funny. She wanted to say that's good.
No, I didn't want to say that, but I said, yep. I'm just happy at this time too, just to to say that with all of us in the different walks of life in our, in our spiritual growth, I'll say it like that. It's like there's no right and there's no wrong. You get what I'm saying? To whereas I've spoke with people and they try to tell you, oh, you wrong, you this and that, right? And it's never been a clear like, okay, but we all serving the same God. We all serving that one and only, you know what I'm saying, God that there is. But I just appreciate the talk and the walk, and yeah, guys. And then to see two young males on here, like, y'all don't know how blessed I am as a woman, as a queen, to see these black, healthy young men here speaking about the good Lord. You hear me? But okay, I'm done. I don't want to get into the I just had to say that and give y'all credit because some people don't even like giving you that, even the knowledge that that you've learned, that you carried along y'all's way. So
Yeah.
I am
No.
truly honored, guys.
So, Mama, you'll understand because I try to remind both of us
Mom, what
not
happened to
to.
Keyshawn Day?
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
don't feel
kidding.
like
I'm
saying.
just
I
kidding.
don't feel like saying it all the time. That's actually a mouthful. I don't know how you've managed to get all of that as a mouthful, but that's a mouthful. That name. Um, but nah. So I try to remind both of us within me telling you sometimes to not pay attention to certain noise or certain responses to things, right?
Hmm.
And even within the walk of Christ, you have people that are, I'm not going to say on the same path, but in the same beliefs that are distractors from the main focus.
Hmm.
Um, what's some of the ways either A, that you combat that, B, navigated, um, or just use that moment to be a positive reflection of Christ in those moments of negativity within the walk of Christ within your brothers and sisters?
So for me to answer that,
You want me to answer it first because it's not good? No, I'm joking.
just for me to answer that is just like you say in the face of negativity. Well, number one, I can still love people, but don't have to deal with the negative aspects of them, because they don't know. But I don't make it a confrontational thing. I would rather just let that person, if they feel in their heart that they are absolutely right, then I'm gonna let that be. But only God could correct that. I can't correct it. I can just only be and know what I know, not saying that I'm closed out to learning more. Of course, I'm always wanting to learn. But when it's just like negative confrontation about who's right about this and that and the
Now,
word
put it
and
like
the
this. Put it like this. So everybody knows that, like, either a personality trait that they have that is easily triggered by, rather it's a comment, body language, etc., etc. In those moments when that button is pushed and or is being pushed, how do you? What do you? Maybe you just ain't highlighted it, but if you do notice it, what do you do in those moments to not give into what is would be a repetitive cycle?
well, okay, I'm gonna just use this as an example. Like I was speaking with your sister one day during a little coffee little, meeting, and it's like she was telling me what she don't like about what I do as my walk of life with God. And I'm telling her, let's not look at what I do, how I do it. Let's just know that we serving the same God, and we gotta look at, okay, have I ever affected, hurt, gave anybody the wrong type of advice, anything negative, have it ever came off me? If it hasn't, let's just stop the bus right there and get off if you ain't agreeing. But I'm never gonna pinpoint a person's like, oh, you did this, like, because I ain't forgot where I came from either. You know, and people who know me in my past know me. But at the same time, am I that same person today? No, but I'm not gonna prove that to nobody, because if they not around to catch it or can't witness it, that's on them. That's not for them to see. I'm not living life for them. You get me? So I'm not gonna just be feeding the negative with nobody. I'm gonna just always come back with a positive, regardless of how negative a person is. But it's not gonna be an argument, if that makes sense.
That's good. That's good.
See, that's what I'm talking about, Kwani. That's my thing. That's good. Thank you, Kwani. That's good. That's what I like to hear. You hear me? Because that's what I say, Kwani. He always be telling me, I don't want to hear that's good. Wait, if
Matt,
it's
hey,
good, it's good.
he said that one time. You'll literally sit through a conversation for hours, and after one thing is said, that's good. That's
That's
good.
good. Hey, if it's good, it's
Every
good.
time.
You
Now, what
gotta
about you,
know.
Quan?
I mean, I'm gonna always go to Christ, and that's love. I think that, I mean, you ain't gonna, like we just was talking about, you ain't gonna always get it right. Of course, you gonna act out of flesh sometimes, like, and the goal is to, die to, and that's why we have to get up and die to flesh. Like, we have to kill our flesh every day. Like,
Every day.
it can't be like, oh, I'm gonna do it on Monday and hope that get me through the whole week. But I think that the response is love. Like, and even when it's hard, like, it was hard for Christ to get up on the cross and die for us. Like, he asked his father, hey, can this cup pass from me? So, but he still did it. Like, he's like, and I think that helps us. Is like, even though we want to respond a certain way, we tell, like, we ask God, like, okay, your will, not mine. And that's in everything that we do. So I think that responding in love, like, when, and it's hard. Like, I think one of the biggest things is, if you don't work on it in private, you're not gonna be able to do it in public.
Mm-mm.
So
Mm-mm. But yeah, I like the fact. I'm
Y'all
sorry.
wasn't gonna,
I
y'all
like
wasn't
the
gonna tell
fact.
me my bottom lip was dry. That's how y'all
I
gonna
can
do me.
see that.
I
That's how
can
y'all
see,
gonna do me.
but the sun shining on, so it didn't make it look too dry. But what I'm gonna say is, I like the fact that Kwani say about love. I still preach love, love, love. Love wins overall.
Yeah.
And sometimes people do not want to accept that love. But like I said again, you can't force it. You can't force that love. If they don't want it, they don't want it. If that's not how they working out of their heart space, then you can't force the love. But you're gonna keep on giving it, and it's gonna keep on radiating
Yeah.
through the BS, the bull, but like
Yeah.
you were saying, you gotta kill that flesh every day. If people don't understand, you gotta die every day. You gotta die every day. That's just change. You gotta die and transform every day just to get
Yeah, because it's not
better.
finished until we dead. Like,
That's
until we
it.
dead,
That's
we
it.
like. So yeah,
Nah, so I asked that because luckily it worked out the way that it worked out on, with today's episode being today. Um, because I don't know. Well, no, I don't know. I ain't gonna start that today.
That's good.
Because so what I would say right after the Father's Day episode, I was telling you, Mama, being contacted by two individuals, one that I ain't talked to for years, and one that I guess got access, but don't really put it like that. I don't communicate with. And just the differences between energy. Yeah, I mean, and we was talking about, and this is me talking about the things that like. So one is within in Christ. I don't know about the other one, right? Um, and what I'm saying now is referring to the one in Christ. It's just like if we cool and yeah, I mean it's just the sometime energy within that was. So I had two things plaguing my mind over a week and a half span. And it was the sometimey energy of a person being like, oh yeah, and hitting you up and supporting. You can say supporting. I'll throw air quotes up for that. Um, you in silence, but it'd be weird energy in public for them in their social circles. And it's just like for me, I'm like, you don't have to act like you mess with me to appease me, bro. Like I'm cool with messing with you from a distance. Like I'm perfectly fine with messing with anybody from a distance. Like respect is respect, and like we don't have to
And
be
it's still
friends.
our love.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so that's one thing that, yeah. I mean, within that I don't know. I guess I ain't identified that fully yet to say what that is within Christ. It's just like I don't like the sometimey energy in that. So whenever I'm met with sometimey energy, or in the other person's instance was just a bombarding of questions, and I yeah, I mean, I be trying to work on my cussing and all of that. I didn't in that moment, but in my mind, I was letting them fly. Um, because it's just like, yo, what is all these questions for? Like, it's a way to communicate and converse and learn things about a person without seeming like it's an interrogation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I really asked that question, just to see like how y'all handle things, rather it's inner Christ and just day to day relations to it, just random people or people from past and present and future.
Yeah, I think that I think it kind of goes back to what we were first talking about, like the people we're around, the environment, and stuff like that. I
Mm-hmm.
think that you just have to. I mean, it comes to a point where they don't know, and some people don't have the discernment, the wisdom, the good judgment like you do. So I think it then becomes, it's like it's on you to make that decision on whether to separate or not. Like because you benefit people when you walking in Christ, just by the blessing that you walk under. The people that you around can get blessed, and they don't, like it could be kids, it could be parents, it could be whoever, siblings, whatever. But
Yep.
I think it's up to you to decide, like, okay, I'm gonna be from a distance. You don't necessarily, because if it's up to them, they ain't gonna never get from around you.
Nope. No, because
So
what do we call that? Sometimes those are distractions. You said interrogation.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
say someone in spirit or in Christ. Well, I'm gonna tell you like this from my standpoint. I went to church with a lot of people. Like I said, I've been to different churches. But are we still connected to this day through love? Yes, of course. But as a physical, no sir, no sir, and no sir. I am not. And guess what? There is nothing that I'm going to force. Nothing can be forced in my life. And the reason why I say my life is because when I be telling you, like, hey, we got to create our own realities, forget what we see on the outside of the world out here. We can't live up to these expectations out here. But at the same time, we was talking about them distractions. You can't let people who's looking and cheering from you from afar come up to you now and just be like, "Oh well, I'm
Hey,
not gonna like,
hey,
I'm not gonna like
it
your
don't
video,
even be
but I
cheering
watched
though.
it."
It don't even be cheering. I, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I mean, but it don't be cheering, bro. It be you picking and choosing. Yeah, I mean, picking wisdom and picking tools and jewels.
Mhm. Did you just mute your mic? I guess so. So you're
You
picking
said
and
what?
choosing. I said, did you
Huh?
just mute? You just muted your mic, huh? You're picking and
Yeah.
choosing. But no, but you know what? Just to get that cleared in the air, it's always like Kwani said, you gotta learn when to either let things fall off, fall away. You know, fruits, bad fruits will fall off on their own. But
Nah.
what I'm
So
saying,
you know,
don't put us on mute no more.
I almost cut. But nah, forget it. So nah. So you, bro, you know. So it be the weird energy that I don't like. And
Mhm.
the largest thing I don't like is when a person try to play me for crazy or play me like what I'm saying is not logical, but try to polish it up and say it like it was theirs, just to appease people, and then behind closed doors, oh yeah, what you be saying be good and da 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 and nah,
Yeah.
bro,
I mean,
get out
but
get out my
you
face,
gotta
be
know that
be,
that
be
ain't.
yourself.
Yeah, you gotta know that that ain't you though. You gotta know that that's something within inside them that they dealing with.
Hmm.
Like it ain't. It don't have nothing to do with you and like what
But
you
you
doing. Like
recognized it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, but like even in those situations, I think one thing that'll help you is like sometimes the best thing to say is nothing. Like you don't
That's my
always have to
boy,
say
Quantity.
something like
Quiet, quiet, quiet.
Hey,
I'm gonna
hey,
just,
y'all,
I'm gonna do
y'all,
it like
y'all,
that.
y'all don't realize I've been saying nothing. So this is me saying something for the first
I'm
yeah,
time
just
about it.
yeah.
saying. I'm just saying. That's the best. I mean, he said it right out. I mean, it couldn't have came out no smoother off his tongue. That's the best response. Is no response. But wait a minute, Quantity. Come to think of it, I told him. See, he used to drill me. He used to drill me so bad and be like, "Oh well, you talking to him? That's because you choose to." And now that I'm just, on my thing to where I know what I can want to accept and what I don't have to accept. So now he trying to act like he falling on the wayside of not
Nah,
knowing.
it's not even that. I don't communicate. I'm all right. I'm not muted. I don't communicate with neither one of the people that I am referring to right now. It's just that I'm voicing my displeasure currently about the one person that really bugs me the most, and I be really trying not to. I be trying not to get beside myself because I be feeling like that's what people want. Because whenever I get beside myself, I hit you with the smooth ether. But it's
So you
you
gonna keep giving the people what they want?
look. Nah, hey, look, and it look because we live in a culture to where you'll give a person 100% the truth, and then they be like, "Ow, I don't like the way that you said that. You could have said that better." Oh, you weren't listening to what I was saying. You just want to find a way to play the victim into this. That way, nobody pays attention to what I'm saying currently.
And that's those are the distractions I'm talking about though. Like, let me ask you a question though. Like, have you ever caught yourself in a situation where you have been praying for the people that you have these discomforts with?
Hey, my spirit yelled. It wasn't my spirit. My heart yelled. What I gotta pray about pertaining to them, right? But
I'm
nah,
telling
man.
you,
Like
it
I
helps.
always listen. I might not pray for them, but I have a bag and a bucket of people that I came across. Hold on, because they back me. All right, I got a bag and a bucket of people that I came across that I don't really care about in life currently, but I gotta wish them well bucket. So anytime, you know what I mean, I finish with the prayer and for my wish them wells too. You know what I
And,
mean?
yeah, but not, but like when it's something that just continue about, like you have those people that you run into every so often that give you discomfort or make you feel uneasy that that's okay with. But I'm talking about these things that just keep these people that just keep coming at you. Like speak their name, like pray for them specifically, and it'll start. Like I'm telling you, like it's been many situations I've been in where I'm like it was like getting on my nerves. Like I wanted to act out of my flesh, and I started praying for these people, and like out of nowhere, they started treating me nice, and like people tell those type of stories, and people be like, yeah, that it sound good, but like no, for real, like
I,
try it. You can't.
but I don't want them to treat me nice. I honestly want them to leave me alone. And
So
hey,
so
and
so
That might happen. No, I'm not saying that specifically they're gonna start treating. I'm talking about that's what happened in my walk with the
Right. That's what I
situation
was
that
like.
I
So
had.
when you do what he's basically saying is when you do pray for whatever this distraction is, I'm not gonna even put people in it no more.
so y'all
Whatever the
telling me to put a
distraction.
name on the bullet? The bullets fly, and
I'm not just saying distraction is a distraction. That could be the sound of these cars that's rolling up and down the street that keep getting on my nerves. But I'm gonna pray for them and ask that they slow down or get the thing fixed. But what I'm saying is he basically Quani just basically saying because I believe what he said too is like I didn't pray for God to either show me people's, good intentions, or if not, Lord, if they are not for me, remove them, please. Not meaning in a bad way, but just remove them out of my lifestyle at this moment. But and that he do, that he
Put
will,
put
he
put
sure
the names
will.
in the
But
bottle and throw it in the
we're
ocean.
we're not gonna hold any resentment or grudges because we will never heal from it. You get what I'm
Nah,
saying? So it's a way
I
that you.
I guess I strongly believe in out of sight, out of mind. That's why I said throw the name in the bottle and throw it in the ocean.
Well,
Yeah.
you
I
can
mean,
do
but
that
even
too. You
even
you
like
can do the
she's saying
outside of
though,
the mind.
even like she's saying, if you have prayed the prayer of asking God to remove people from your life, like God did what you asked him to do. He's
I must not
revealing.
be praying. I must not be praying hard enough because
No,
they
listen,
find their way to float back
listen, though,
ashore.
bro. No, listen, because we play a part in everything. Like it, God has the power, but He
Hmm.
expects us to do our part too. So if you ask Him to reveal and He reveal, it's up to you to make the decision to remove them. That's
Hmm.
what
Yeah,
I was telling
I
you
don't
earlier. Because
communicate with them, but then they
they not just
communicate
gonna leave
back
you
to me.
alone. Like
Look, it ain't just on God to just work His powers and you not take the footsteps to finish it out. To
But
finish the.
I'm easily painted the villain. I could go on a blocking spree today.
that,
Look at him
they
acting
did
out of
that to
character
Jesus.
again. He acting crazy.
They did that to Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
You gotta know that everybody ain't gonna like you. Everybody ain't gonna
Yep.
come in
And
your
it's not
life.
for you to even worry about if anybody like you, like what you're doing, like
No,
what you're
it's not
saying.
about the like. I just don't like to be played like a fool because most of the
The
times the
fake
people that be
love.
playing, yeah, bro. Because most of the times when people be like, I hate it when the uninformed and the ignorant plays the person that is actually talking about something of substance as a crazy person just because the small minded don't understand.
Well,
I mean, bro, listen. Because you have to understand, like, when I ask myself, when I ask God to, make me more like Jesus, make me, and I'm praying that, you got to know that you're gonna deal with the situations that He dealt with. So you can't ask to be more like Jesus and then push away everything that He dealt with.
yep.
So in your instance, Jesus allowed Judas around Him, even though He know He was gonna betray Him.
Hmm. Hmm.
I
So
ain't got that heart though.
yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand that. But I'm just saying, like, you have to know that those people are coming, bro. Like, even the people that's closest to you.
Like, yeah, you think that's why I say you worried about one individual, maybe if that too. You got to worry about as long as you're here on this earth, how many more is going to be in your way, on your path, while you still going, and that's why I say. I mean, the more you go, the more you grow, the more you learn, the more you'll be able to move. More you'll be able to navigate through this thing called life while we're here in this
I got to read the Bible
temporarily.
more extensively. I got to see if Jesus threw hands.
Well, if he didn't throw hands physically, he showed through them verbally
Yeah,
and with
yeah,
actions.
yeah.
And
You know,
that's how I be feeling in my heart. That's how I be feeling in my heart. I'm like, hey, one little quick little hand throwing session. I probably have talked to him again.
Hey,
but yeah, you gotta let that anger out your heart. At the end of the day,
It don't.
just love
It
it.
look. It
Just
don't be
appreciate
anger.
the.
It be irritation.
And the
Cause it
reason
be
why I
like,
say anger is because you can still, even in your tone of when you speak on it, it's just like ugh, like
yeah,
nah,
yeah.
it don't.
And,
It don't
yeah,
be.
you
It
gotta let
don't
that
be.
stuff roll off your back,
It
like.
don't
yeah,
be. It be me wanting to talk about a subject, but also affording them grace while I'm talking about the subject.
yeah. I
Cause
mean, that's good. Because you don't want to. Like, although most things, yeah, let it roll over your back. But some situations you do have to just deal with head on. Like, you don't want to push everything away because you got to think, man. It might be something in you that God's trying to get out of you and using that
Hmm.
situation
Hmm.
to do it.
Yeah.
so I came up with a great a great 3 letter word. I be trying not to call people bands out in this world, but that's how I be feeling in my life. It'd be a lot of bands that I come across,
You said bands with a BAN
Yeah,
or
bands,
fan?
bands.
Oh, oh,
Yeah, I'll let your mind figure that out. So,
yeah.
so
Hey,
I
I
be
understand.
trying, I be trying not to pull people to the side and be like, "Hey, band X, Y, Z." So I try to sugarcoat it and not even get to the band calling. And that's like, yeah, you too, bro. Have a great day.
But that's how God wants you to handle it.
Yeah.
That's how God wants you to handle it. Because when negativity come up against you, you got to know that most
Nah,
of the
but
stuff
look,
that we go through is tests, though. Like when you dealing with, you don't want to disqualify yourself because somebody else is being, negative towards you.
Hmm.
y'all seen that meme when it was like, yo, when you irritated and a problem come up and asks you what's the problem?
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be a lot of that going on.
Well, it sounds like you got a lot of things to look at inside of your circle
Yeah.
and moving
Yeah.
Don't
around.
even got it. Don't even. Well,
Yeah.
I'm making a circle currently. Put it like that.
Well, that's a
But
good
nah,
thing. That's a good thing. And then just basically you just proving your point on whatever, the situation. I mean, I know what the situation, but just you proving your point, just be like silence. Sometimes you just gotta nip things in the bud and always look in the mirror at yourself and be like, me and you, what do we really want out of this whole thing? Like, was that worth it? What I did? Was it worth it that I didn't say anything? Was it worth it that I choose not to deal with that person or people or whatever? Like, you just got to make sure you check self first and then you'll be able to move accordingly.
yeah. And I said all of that to basically say if it worked out perfect that it wasn't last week because I was like, dang, I don't even know if my spirit is aligned for this week's episode. I was like, I don't even know.
My feelings was hurt, but we ain't gonna even talk about that.
She
I
said,
was excited, Kwani. I was like, oh, that's what's up. I was excited. Here you go. Well, we gonna have to just move it on. I
yeah,
don't. I'm thinking
I was
like,
in the sauna. I had proper slugs for that week. In the sauna, I had them ready. Wouldn't have said names, but I mean,
But
yeah,
see, even that is a sign of growth inside yourself. Like to know that, like I said, sometimes the best thing to say is nothing, and you didn't say nothing last week, and you
mm-hmm.
waited into this week until you got yourself back right, and then you started to
Yep,
speak on it.
got it. Got to kind of calm down in the spirit to be able to talk about it and not have to be so you had to
Yeah,
automatic so I
yeah,
mean that's kind of good. Hopefully that just make you feel better on moving forward. Like some things you gotta get off of your mind. If you already figured out the thing that was worrying you, bothering you, get that off your mind so you can be able to focus and keep moving forward. That's the thing. Like here we go back
yeah,
to distractions, right? Just keep moving forward. If something distracted you along the way, fix that and keep it moving. Don't we can't keep dwelling on things.
yeah,
That ain't doing nothing but holding us back. We keep dwelling on it, it's holding us back. It got a pull on us.
yeah,
We don't need that.
yeah. And to know that just because you like, because I know where your mind went when I was like, the best thing to say is nothing. Like you think, like you said, I want to speak on it. Like just because you don't speak on it in that exact moment, don't mean that you can't bring it up again.
Yeah,
And like finding the right approach to it.
yeah. But that is
I think where I struggle at with bringing things up because where I'm at in life, I want to be more direct with people in life. Is if I bring it up to that person and I'm being direct, the number one thing I don't want to hear back is, "Oh, well, where is this coming from?" Like they don't know, like they don't know. Because then my two gonna go to a 10 real
Yeah,
fast.
yeah. But you can say like, even if you all you say in that moment is, I didn't like that, but I'm not gonna speak on it right now. I need some time to process this. Like to let them
mm-hmm.
know that for that
Yeah,
to not be a problem. Where it's like, dang, where this coming from? Like, cause
mm-hmm.
cause all of it is really about communication. Like being straight, like you said, being straightforward with people.
Yep. If you feel that you can be straightforward and communicate with those or these people in particular.
Was you
Sometimes,
just
like,
clapping?
I mean, just to do that, because at the same time, like, sometimes, like I'm gonna keep saying it to Kwani. I'm gonna say it again. No response, just quiet silence, and that'll make each component look at themselves like, "What? He ain't talking. He ain't talking." That's gonna make them look at themselves, right? But if you know that you can just come to someone directly, communicate, say what it was on your heart, your mind, whatever, and y'all can kind of fix it and make it kind of, you know,
Yeah.
mediate it out to where it's cool, then that's cool. But some things, sometimes you cannot communicate what you really want to communicate because it won't still end up how you think or expect it should go. So that's where we go back into prayer and praying, like,
Now,
maybe you
if
need some
somebody's
clarity or
breath stink,
something.
if somebody's breath stink in church, what's the godly way to let them know that they breath stink?
Just say, "Hey, you want a piece of gum?"
Hey,
I mean, what do you want to say?
I think only a woman can get that off in church. I
Oh,
think that
or just pull out your pack of gum and be like, "Just do this." Act like you putting you some in your mouth and just say, "Anybody for
that's the way to
somebody."
do it.
I mean,
Yeah.
Nah,
but you have to do things with discernment. But I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes you do have to be just straight up like that. Like, hey,
I was being childish because
nah, nah.
You play
it
too
was
much.
one it was one day I was in church and I had called my mama afterwards. I was like, "It's a nice looking."
Lord help them.
But nah, so closing it out this way. You are on my passion project, which is I can honestly say you are the first um, addition to me actually stepping foot into displaying what this podcast and what I want it to look like and envisioned it looking like, which is another man being on here opening up and being able to have proper discourse and conversation.
Yeah, because I'm
Uh,
telling you, I just want to cut in real quick because I want to give this young man his creds, because, like I said again, he was a good guy when I met him, and he is still a good guy. I don't look at what nobody's done in their life. I look at them from the heart, from the, you know what I'm saying? And it's not, I'm gonna say it again. Whatever you doing, keep on doing it, okay? And do it with God. I'm done. Back to you, Chef Boy.
Jesus, Christ. Would you like to talk about your passion project before we close out?
Who?
Quan.
Oh,
My passion project.
Yeah. If you remember what you had told me.
Oh, as far as wanting to go out here and get young people on fire for Christ again.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So my goal is to of course I'm in a season where God is molding and shaping me and taking everything out of me that's not of him, and I mess up still, I still fall, but I think it starts with the younger generation, because we just getting so messed up out here, and my goal is to you know just get young people on fire for God again. Like, you see a lot of elder people just do. I mean, but for me, the most part is like most elder people just it's like another thing to check off their to-do list. And what I mean by on fire for Christ is like doing what God told us to do, and that's going out into the world. And
spreading
because a
this
lot of
good
people,
news.
yeah, a lot of people don't have those role models in their life. I know I didn't. I know the reason that I lived the way that I lived, going to games, because they don't know what true love is. And and somebody got to introduce it to them. And if don't
Mm-hmm.
nobody do it, then we just gonna keep getting more lost and more lost as generation goes on. And I think right now I'm just becoming okay with the fact that I ain't gonna be able to. Everybody ain't gonna be with the movement of Christ.
And that's
And
okay.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah,
Where there's
yes,
3 or more. Hey,
yeah,
you know what?
yeah,
It can start with 1, it can start with 5, it can start with 10, whatever the number may be. But like, the more push, that's why I said the whatever that you want to build and with like-minded people, things will work, things will spread. We're not looking at numbers, we're looking at it for the way of Christ, just like you say, on fire,
yeah,
and I agree with you with your project plan, meaning start with the young, is because we got to catch them when they're young, because what's being fed out here is not
yeah,
the good food for them,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
uh and just living witnesses. We were walking witnesses, walking testimonies.
yep,
So for them to see it with their own eyes, and also feel it, like you say, you're gonna feel the love, you're gonna feel the light, you're gonna,
yeah,
see the light. Sometimes you just gonna see the light and they're gonna be like, ooh, hold on. Let
yeah,
me go over there by
yeah,
him. Let me go stand by him real quick, because something glowing over there. Just like Chef Boy over there is
yeah,
so glowing, I can't even see his eyes. But I'm just saying,
And
but keep pushing for that. And if anything, me
not,
being the old head that I am, and that's just like for vice versa of, men, women, all genres. But did I say that right?
genders,
All genders. I'm thinking about action and thriller and Manila.
music.
But no, but all genders in life. But yeah, I'm ready to join whatever movement that's for him anyways, and not just always keep it in like people say, okay, you in church, I'm gonna hurry up. They'll be like, okay, church, come to church, come to church. Let's start this stuff on the streets, because
yeah,
sometimes, and I'm gonna just speak it real, sometimes churches speak about community but ain't really out here in their community, if that makes sense. Because
yeah,
what is a
yeah,
community to most of these churches around? I'm gonna just say it like that. But I'm in a community. I see what goes on daily in a community. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
if it takes us as individuals to take that leap of faith and start there, then hey, God's gonna finish the rest.
yeah, yeah. And it's because people don't realize that we are the churches. The church isn't a
That's why I said
building.
where there's three, where the
Yeah,
three gather.
yeah. So I just want to get these young people. I mean, I want to get everybody of all
Mm-hmm.
ages and all stages of life. But
Yes.
like I know, like I said, I just want to give people what I didn't have growing up, and that
Mm-hmm.
was a role model to see. Like I didn't know Jesus, so I
Mm-hmm.
didn't, and nobody taught me Jesus, and it was like nobody taught it in the way that I could, understand it in the stage of life that I was in, and
Mm-hmm.
like my
Mm-hmm.
brother tell me all the time, it's like, I was coming to y'all while y'all was in the streets, in gang shootouts and stuff like that. I was coming to y'all, and like most people don't want to, like the church don't want to go to the
The
dude that's
street.
carrying around the gun or just
They
selling
don't
the
want to go
drugs.
to the hood and the
Yeah,
life, the
no,
real life livings.
nope,
But that
nope.
doesn't make that person holding the gun or selling the drugs a bad person either. Let's get that clear, because
Yep.
everybody got a background, and
Hmm.
God can start anybody, a prostitute, a drug dealer, or whoever. But at the same time, I mean, kudos to your brother, kudos to him. Like, but it also, we gotta hear. God said we gotta hear. We gotta
Hmm.
also see, So
Yep.
yes, yes,
Yep.
yes, yes.
So that really, I mean, it's a lot more to it, but that's really just the overall look on it of what I really want to do. Um,
Yeah.
and just continue to let God to guide me in that journey.
Mm-hmm. And just know, everything happens in God's timing too. So I want both men to know, don't make like things have to be rushed, like, oh, we got to get this done today,
Yeah.
or I want to get this done by the end of the winter, or
Yes. Yes.
just move accordingly.
I'm definitely gonna keep that deadline in my mind to keep moving. That's what stage I'm in with this. I just have
But
to.
yeah, there's
It's
really not a
application time.
deadline. There's not a deadline to anything, until God say so. That's the deadline right there.
Yeah.
Till
Now
God say so.
I only feel like that there's no deadline when it comes to the topics. My topics come to me however the topics come to me.
That's right.
Um, but as far as like different things, yeah, no. But no, Quan.
Yeah, I can add a whole
The
new
reason why
hairstyle.
I asked if you wanted to close out with bringing that up is because when you was telling me about it, of course, I don't even remember if I told you when you had told me that. Like it had sounded, it had resonated with me because I remember when I was just getting brought to church because I was getting dropped off with grandparents and or with just
Mhm.
grandparents. Um,
Notice he didn't say me though.
and
Okay.
getting taken to church, it would be like, all right, I'm just at church and I don't know what's going on. And of course, you know they have like Sunday school and all of that, and you see
Yeah,
other kids that's like more knowledgeable with it or whatever, right?
yeah,
But it was just like, all right, whatever. But like, I guess my thing was, it wasn't cool to me at the time for like Christ didn't seem cool to me because that's what
yeah,
phase I was in life, and adolescence was all that don't seem cool, right?
Hmm.
So within you explaining to me what your passion project was, I was like, all right, that sounds like it is a great start because a lot of kids, influence is a huge thing currently. So with them seeing and understanding you personally and who you are as a person, and also understanding that you are a person in Christ, I feel like that could be a large thing with
yeah,
like
yeah,
adolescent groups.
yeah, yeah,
So that's why I wanted you to close out with that.
yeah. And I mean,
Key word, mother, close out.
That's good.
yeah, and
That's good.
yeah, I think that like it's important that I do this because like at the stage and the age that I am, because I mean it's easy for a 40, 50, 60 year old to come to you and talk to you about Christ, but for somebody my age that's only 25 and still younger, it's like, okay, they looking at me like everybody my age right now is going to clubs, listening to NBA young boy and shooting people up and having sex and doing all the worldly things, and they like, I don't see no younger people being on fire for Christ, and how I'm gonna follow that, and I don't see nobody doing it. So I think that, like I said, I'm gonna just continue to let God guide me in this journey. But I think that, like your mom said, like I think that it's important that while the mind is still developing and being taught things, that they get taught the right things.
Hmm.
So and
Y'all,
and,
I
and,
wish I
and and brung the right way too, like not scaring them.
Can't scare them now.
Yeah, yeah, not scaring them but I
That's
have to
what
be,
churches do.
yeah,
Churches
but I have to
sometimes,
be
not
real
all
with them.
churches, but that's what churches do. Sometimes churches scare, they scare away youth, adults, and the elders. You hear me? So
Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna just say like this, even with the ages and stuff, like you say, people around your age, everybody can work with any age. I'm gonna tell you like that. It's up to them that wanna hear, see, and be a part of. But
yeah. I
you're
remember me and
absolutely right.
I remember me and you was talking about like how no one told us about the warfare coming over,
Oh
and
yeah, after
truth.
baptism.
Yeah, yeah, like especially after baptism, like nobody taught us that. So I think it's like not to scare them, but I do have to like divide equally love and truth. Like letting you
Mm-hmm.
know that this ain't just no walk in the park. Like you ain't coming over here and
Yeah.
just everything gonna be all gloomy and stuff. But
Right.
you about to face some battles that you never thought you was gonna face. But
Mm-hmm.
God loves you and He's with you and He gives you the
Yeah.
strength and the power to endure all those things. So
That's it.
that's my goal, man.
Well, I'm
All
with
right.
you. I'm with you.
All right, Miss Keisha. Day, you want to sign out?
Well, guys, I don't know. We might have to have us a part two or continuous or something. But Kwani, I would like to thank you for coming on the Soapbox Socials.
Welcome.
Uh, Big boy, Chef Boy, Basquiat. Thanks for the opportunity of us all to go ahead and connect on this big particular topic, which is probably gonna be so helpful. We just don't know, but I just feel it in my heart. But Yeah, y'all come back for another good episode. We might come back next Sunday, the Sunday after that, but just stay
No, we'll,
tuned.
we'll, de- we'll definitely be back next Sunday. Got to get back on track.
Okay, and just keep spreading the word, guys. Keep spreading the word. Keep spreading your testimony. That's a word, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Signing out.
There we go. All right, y'all.
All